they say that you can't do stuff for other people and expect to just make it. Oh, I'm doing this for such and such. You know what I mean? And so I thought about it like, whoa, doing it for me or doing it for them is doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
My siblings were my life.
Come on.
It's the only thing I didn't know. You know, and the love I have for my family, my mom, that was my life. So if I can't find me, who I am right now, what's the next best thing? That's what I pushed for.
Mm-hmm.
And with me doing that, I found me.
Come on.
Because I found home.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I was at home before I was even at home.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Jose Cruz. Yes, your favorite Native American. And I'm just super excited for today's podcast. And let me just preface this podcast. If you guys haven't seen and or watched or listened to my podcast with the homie, with a good friend of mine, Alondra, you guys are missing out. That to me by far was one of the most realest conversations that I've ever had. You know, somebody bringing it back to the roots of their life, you know, where they really struggled, where you could actually overcome the things that either you've put yourself in or happened to you, or you have no idea why. But yet again, the name of the show relates to so many, if not everyone on planet Earth, on why you're still here, man. And Alondra's story just really hits. You know, I find myself listening and watching that podcast just to constantly remind me that, you know what, there are awesome, dope people on planet Earth, and Alondra is one of them. Because again, when you choose to just, you know, make the right decision to say, you know, I'm gonna go forward despite what happened to me, you know, whether it's my fault or not, man, that to me is a good example of a person that I, you know, thrive to be. You know, so again, the podcast is called Still Here Podcast, and you know, you guys are listening and watching right now are still here. You know, as you guys remember, if you've watched that podcast with Alondra, we know she talked about her daughter. And man, I was like, we got to get her daughter on the podcast. And today we have the homie Jay. What's up, girl? How you doing? She's like, you're like, what do I do? What's going on here?
Hey, guys.
I mean, let's get to know you. Let's kind of get introduce yourself again. Yes, you know, you're Alondra's daughter, but sometimes people just think, well, I'm more than just her daughter. I'm me, you know, and it's like, you know, but but you know what I'm saying? I never want to take away from the person
being her daughter. And then they're like, who are you? Oh, I'm Alondra's daughter.
You're gonna know. You're gonna remember that. But now let's get to know you. You know, kind of just you know, from like, where you from, you know, where you hail from growing up, and
well, I'm from Fresno, the west side. Dirty Dub, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Right.
I know.
But my name is Tericka, actually, but I go by Jay, and my music name is Terry, because my family calls me Terry, so music name Terry Nicole. Yeah, this is different because I like never really found myself so interesting, you know, like growing up, I was an experiment baby. That's what I like to call it, because I was the firstborn, and my mom was 18 getting out of high school. My dad was getting out of high school, and I'm pretty sure neither one of them knew what they were doing, you know. My mom and my grandma, they had some struggles in their relationship, so needless to say, she didn't have a role model in like love and stuff like that, so neither did I. And I kind of like grew up just, I guess, having to entertain myself, thinking that love was a hoax or something, like, you know, Cinderella or something, like, you know. I grew up very fast. I went from being a infant to semi-toddler to a co-parent. I guess. My dad they were together, but he wasn't there. And of course, my mom had my little brother. Who else gonna help her? So me and him are like 2.5 years apart. So I just started acting like a kid, actually, like maybe 2 years ago.
No, there's nothing wrong with
that.
Like
a big kid, but yeah. I mean, like, I guess I've always wanted to know what it felt like, which it's kind of like too late. I probably should simmer down a bit, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I try not to think about the past too much, but I came from a pretty it was a pretty turned up household as far as like about that life. Like there was a lot of fighting. A lot of fighting, a lot of anger. There, a lot of hurt, I don't know. There's like very few happy memories I think I have being a kid. Just, dude, my mom's came such a long way. Like, and I'm proud of her. Like at first, I'm not gonna lie. Like I felt like I needed to get her back.
How so?
Like I felt like she hurt me, so she owes me this, she owes me that. I need to get her back. I'll go into her purse, take whatever. Just it, and then lie to her face, knowing that she knows it's me. Like just causing hell and on earth. Like I was that kid. I was selfish. I grew up so angry. Like I just wanted to hurt everything. I just wanted to destroy everything. Like I didn't really care about myself, let alone anybody else. Like I had my siblings there, but I still felt alone in a sense. Like because I kind of felt like I was their parent almost. Like these are my kids, and like whatever. Like I don't know. It's just. But then, to be honest, like in all reality, as I got older and started to think about it, my siblings are actually more my parents.
Because you're living out them young days.
Right. And I was always a smart kid. Like I would like to take stuff apart, put it together, just see how it worked.
Yeah.
So I started that early. My grandma, she would help me with the reading and stuff like that. But when it came to going to school, once I hit like middle school, I say, I wanted to. I've never really been like my mom. We used to have to come in on the street lights come on before the street lights come on. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a wrap. Yeah. I grew up tough because I got the most whoopings. I mean, I just. But I always wanted to know what the streets was like. For whatever reason, I do not know. I guess it's TV or something. I don't know. But I always had that thirst. Like, dude, I'm trying to see what's out there, man. Like, so to the point where I would find myself sneaking, like literally sneaking out. My mom's a heavy sleeper. Once she drops,
she gone.
The world's my oyster.
The world is my oyster.
And then like we would go spend the night at my dad's house. My dad, I don't know. He was more concerned about being a best friend, I guess, or a friend, if even,
Like to you and your siblings, or just
mostly to me, honestly. My siblings didn't really have that much of a relationship with them up until like they all got grown or whatever. But, everything I asked him for, he gave me. Yeah, everything I did I was supposed to do, he turned the other cheek. Like he would not.
You think he was just trying to like win your affection? And like, hey,
I just don't even think he cared. Like, I mean, I think it was just not that he didn't care, but I think it was like
the responsibility. Just go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Not my problem. Out of sight, out of mind.
Just stay cool. Stay cool enough to return back to your mom what you got here. Yeah. So that opened up a huge door for me to go and find out different stuff. Like, I wanted to know what it was like to smoke weed so bad. I was drying out grass. Like really? Regular grass, like rolling it up.
Bermuda. I got the Bermuda, a little bit of OSHA or all the other, a little
thinking
bit of
I was living life until my mom smelled that burning paper. She was like, "What is that smell?" I was like, "Nothing." What
come here? I'm too organic.
She was like, "Are you nuts? Like, it's not doing nothing for you." And I swear it gave me head change. Like
you can't smoke bark.
Right. And so, but then I went from that to actually like getting a hold of my dad's cigarettes and taking some of his cigarettes. He was always drinking, so he didn't really pay attention to it. He just thought he was smoking them.
I might be going through these fast. Now he's like,
right. So now I'm at school with cigarettes and smoking with my friends in the corner of the school, and that went from the cigarettes to marijuana. I started ditching school, started stealing from stores, shoplifting. Me and my friends literally like made ourselves all kind of secret compartments in our jackets.
Yeah, what you want? What you got?
In stores, like, and just for snacks and cap guns. Like, why?
Cap guns? Bag of
why?
Hot
I
Cheetos.
don't know. Like the dumbest stuff. And it was like I was just, I don't know, but that stuff was like the opening door for me eventually fighting so much in school and ditching so much in school that they kicked me out of the whole school district.
What school did you go to?
All of them.
All of them? Well, there you go.
I went to Roosevelt for a little bit, got kicked out in the middle of the school year. I went to McLean the following year, and then I went to Edison for a little bit, literally, and got arrested for fighting. And they kicked me out of the whole school.
The next day, arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
They kicked me out of the whole school district. So once I got on home studies, I was like, well, I might as well stay home. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I was ditching home studies. Who ditches home studies? Like,
how do you,
I figured it out, though.
How'd you figure it out? Maybe someone listening, watching, like, let me learn something.
I ain't gonna teach you that. You ain't gonna get me. You ain't gonna get me for that. But shit, I don't know. I was just I wanted to just be like somewhere where can't nobody tell me what to do, you know, kind of attitude. Like, can't nobody whip me for this because I just, you know, I'm already grown. Yeah. Like, you know, what's the point? And, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I felt like I kind of parented myself for a while, but at the same time, I feel like my mom did the best she could because I feel like she tried tooth and nail, like. And I was just right there watching her, but, you know, try. But, you know, my attitude and my, you know, rebellion was just like so snobby. Like I was just like kind of bow to me type deal. Like, and it was, yeah, I'm not too proud. I'm not proud of that at all, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so far what I'm hearing, you know, like most, you know, even me, I was the same. I pushed the envelope, you know, me and my brother, you know, and we were the ones that if we got caught, we're like, and we knew the extent of our punishment, but after a while, I was like, we're good because whippings only go so far. I was the guy that was getting whooped all the time out of my siblings, you know, and I deserved it, but it's like I knew how much I could push, you know.
Right.
And so, and again, like you, like me, again, like many others, you know, we you know, as much as we had parents there, as much as we had, like you said, your mom there, then going to your dad. You know, we never really had the guidance, you know, to learn to say no. Right. And you're like, okay. You know, it's like we never knew that word, you know, and now that I'm a parent, you know, I'm a father, you know, we're so blessed to have our kids and very disciplined, very respectful, very understanding because they know the street life from me. I'm very open. I don't hold nothing away from them. You know, conversations on the podcast, my daughter and my other two in the living room, they'll sit there and watch it, you know, because they need to know. And I feel like growing up, our generation was just like, go. We know no one, you know, we didn't care to know. Right. We just like, hey, whatever happens and I'll deal with it. Yeah, you know, seriously, and that's real, you know. And I think one of the things that's standing out to me more is even as you're talking, I can see you analyzing, you're like, dang, I haven't talked about that in a minute.
Right.
Forgot about that.
I literally blocked it out.
Yeah.
Like, I did my best to forget. At a young age, I mean, we had a babysitter who wanted to teach me. She told me that she was getting me ready to be her husband. I guess she put it, but it's, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't so. At the time, I mean, I'm like, I didn't like it, but I knew that whenever I denied her, then now she's getting my little brother and my little sister in trouble for like absolutely nothing. And they got to deal with my mom. So, you know, what else am I going to do? You know? because I didn't like that at all. We even tried to run away from her. Tried to tie all kinds of sheets together, throw them out the second story window because it's on TV.
Yeah.
Like talking about we're running away. We throwing bags of clothes out the window. Like my grandma stayed around the corner, so we were about to dip. Like, But, I just seen it as, well, I mean, I'm the oldest, I've been rocking for my siblings this long, so why not keep protecting them? Like, I felt like it was my job.
Yeah, like around this
Mom's
time.
not here.
Well,
like,
how old are you?
I want to say, let me see, we're staying on the west side and the King's in the front. So I was probably either going to Carver, so I'll say about 5th grade maybe.
Wow.
5th grade, 6th grade
like a
maybe.
Full-grown adult trying to survive.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like and to this day I can't fathom for the life of me what was wrong with that lady, because what was I don't understand people like that. Like,
again, it all comes, everything stems from what they've experienced growing up and what they always known, it's like, well, this happened to me. This is all I know. Maybe this is a feeling that, because again, we get things put on us that we don't know, especially as adult. I'm 41 years old, and there are things that my dad, my mom, she's not alive, but there's things that I feel and act out on. It's like that it's a resemblance. It's a reminder of her or my uncles or my aunties, things that got put on me. Me and my siblings, we see traits of, you as a kid, and your siblings, it's like that person. Again, as humans, we're all flawed. Right. Not one human's better than the other. No matter what our bank account says, no matter what our status says in life, we're all flawed. And there are people that know how to hide behind certain things to make them look like they're good. Right. I'm not that guy. I'm a guy that puts it out there, and I'm a guy that knows I'm no better than the next guy. So I treat people the same way I want to be treated. The old school mindset, what my dad and them were, leaders in my life, mentors, what I always try to tell me, and so, and I think, just, kind of keep getting into your story more. When did you start noticing your life just started turning for the worse? And then, like you said, there were things your mom, you were very upset at, because that's one thing I love about your mom. She was very open with all her mistakes, with all her things she dealt with, even being a mother, being so young. Because, man, how do you go to college, and have the story was crazy. She's finishing school. She's doing school on the bench, outside. It's just,
it was nuts.
Yeah. And then again, you growing up, you're like, whoa.
And on top of that, she's dealing with me at the same time. You know what? My mother is the reason why I believe in God.
Come on.
Because what do you mean there's no such thing as God? And this lady did this, that, and the third. I know what I was like. Okay. Yeah. Being my own parent, I probably would have given myself up for adoption or something. I'm like, take him.
Yeah,
take him over. Look, no, don't you send this kid back. I'm telling you, don't you send her back. Send her back, see what happens.
Yo, it's you.
It's up. I don't know where I went wrong, but it's up.
Man, someone whip my ass.
Right, but.
Man, I mean, again, that's one thing I love, man. I fell in love with your mom and her story. My wife, shout out wifey, she's here 30 minutes in the pod. Nice. Dude, I'm notorious for that, but that's one thing we fell in love. It's like, man, this still here just resonates, Alondra, your mom. And it's like, I'm like,
she's really a phoenix for real.
Yeah, as I'm listening to it and I'll rewatch, I'm just like, oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, my mom was a shit. And you know what? For me to be so misbehaved and so such a bad apple, she wasn't no soft lady.
No, I bet.
She used to jack me up. But it was, boy.
Man, you going back right now. I can just see you
you're like, I'm like, all of a sudden I'm starting to feel the pain. I'm like, what happened? Dude. But I mean, I guess that explains a lot why I am the way I am now. But shoot, and it's still, I still would test her.
Even now?
Bring it up. No. I got some sense now.
I got some sense.
It came late, but I got some.
Yeah.
But back then, I was just like, just I don't know, going toe to toe. Like, just thought I was about that life, shoot, until I figured out I really wasn't. Because little did I know I was tearing myself up.
Yeah. Now, when did you start seeing that? And because again, you went to jail or you went to prison too, right? Or
what on my 18th birthday, actually, was my first charge, domestic violence. I woke up drunk and disorderly in jail. I'd never been there, didn't know how I got there. I was looking around, woke up to some weird looking lady looking at me, and I'm looking at her like, what the fuck?
Get out my room.
I'm like, what the? I'm looking around like, hey, I'm telling the guards like, what the? Why am I in? Where is this? Where, because I moved out of my mom's house at 17 and got with this lady who's like 28 years old and pregnant. Don't ask. All I know, she let me get drunk at her house. So, I mean...
It's a win.
No. It was all right. So did that, and on my 18th birthday, she got me a whole fifth of ancient age whiskey. I remember to about half the bottle, and I don't remember nothing else. But apparently, I woke up with a court. I had to go to court, and they were saying how I grabbed this lady by the throat and like slammed her against her, like beating her up, like. And then the cops came to arrest me, and now I'm beating them up, like.
Yeah.
And so I woke up in there, and but she came up there to drop the charges though, so they let me out. But it's like once I did that, that was like the stamp, like. Incarceration, like just because it was after that was a revolving door. That was my home away from homes. It was like every holiday season. Oh, where's Tericka? Oh, yeah, she back. And, she back gone. Like I just started. I mean, the rage grew, and me being a homosexual female out there, guys can't stand, but. I refuse to, like, it even got to the point to where these 3 grown men about my dad's age, like, literally tried to, for lack of better words, like, force themselves on me to tell me they're going to show me how to act like a lady. And I had to fight. But I guarantee I fought. No. Like, I'm a sore loser. So, and that on top of hell no. So, I mean... but that also led to a lot of like me getting jacked up. I mean, jacked up, but the fight ain't over until I win. So I don't know what to tell nobody. So, and I wasn't the tallest. I wasn't. I was actually quite smaller than I am now, body build wise. But I just remember my mom. Like, I guess whenever a challenge came into my life, my mom had this saying that she would say all the time. Like if we're like whining about something, that I know you better stop because I ain't raised no punks, and that's all that my mom didn't raise no punks. So guess what? It's gonna have to get dealt with how it get dealt with. But I bet you I'm going to end up on top. Yeah. So I went through that. Shoot, I've been stabbed in the knee. 6 dudes tried to jump me because I beat up their homeboy.
Yeah, you look like you're not throw down, so I mean,
I can do a little tussling. I can tango.
Should y'all come through?
Right, I'm like, it became to where like fighting became like I don't know, like a hobby for me, I guess. Like now I'm over here.
I didn't meet my quota. I gotta get out there.
Once I figured out I could knock out that one, I was like, oh, bet. What's up, dog? What's your name, nigga? Like, what the
I'm just going to school.
Like, who you gonna learn today? Short little girl. I'm like, who you calling a girl, nigga? Like, like you, dude.
What'd I do?
Right. I was terrible, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then, because again, I mean, your humor, who you are, is amazing. I mean, again, it's a reflection, because I'm reminded like you now. You're reminiscing now. You like this stuff. You even said I
haven't thought of this stuff in years.
Yeah, but I want to get to the. Because again, don't feel like this is like a therapy or me trying. So how do you feel? No, it's not that.
And mind you, you have to forgive me because I'm still working on learning how to open up.
Yeah, no, it's real.
I don't tell my business.
Yeah, I know this is gonna be all over there. That's what I'm saying, man.
Right.
My first day talking about everything's going out there, you know.
No,
but,
my girlfriend, she brought a notepad and a pencil, talking about she's gonna take notes.
yeah,
I was like, what?
you said this. Remember, you know.
I was like, I guess.
Well, let me ask you this then. I know because it is tough, and I don't want you to feel like it's a just end all, be all, tell all. That's why I was very upfront.
Oh no,
like,
I need to. This is healthy for me. I need to work on stuff like
doubt.
this. So I'm not.
Well, now when you started going in and out, like you said, it was a holiday. You know, going in and out. You know, and just starting to see the struggle. And then, you know, like you said, you wanted to clap back at your mom for some reason. You knew she was trying to be this, but where did you start seeing where it just started turning for the worse? And where did things start getting?
Where I seen that it started turning for the worse is when I stopped selling drugs and started using them. And I'm talking about narcotics. Like I went from Diz pills and coke to I tried crack. It just wasn't my
Yeah.
You know. So but then I got introduced to methamphetamine. I started off selling it, and then it went from selling it to using it, and I turned into somebody that I didn't even recognize myself. I wouldn't even look in mirrors like that. Like it was nuts. I was like, what, maybe 100, probably like 130 pounds soaking wet, and I'm naturally big boned. Like we're big, so I mean I felt embarrassed. Like I was embarrassed of myself. I was ashamed of myself. Like I was embarrassed to even go around my family. I would stay gone for my mom and them worried about where I am. I'm out there running the streets, living in the streets, just dealing with whatever kind of woman. Like, well, for 8 years it was the same woman, and that was. Don't ask why. I can't tell you why, because I don't know. I think it was drugs.
Yeah,
but,
I think it was. Yeah,
but like,
oh yeah,
it was just. But the more ashamed of myself I got, the more harder it got to get out. And then I started to notice, like, dude, I didn't spend so many years in my head thinking I'm getting revenge on my mom for this, that, and the third. She's still, you know, by the grace of God, living life, raising my siblings. I ain't doing nothing but killing myself.
Yeah.
You know, like, and hurting the people that I love. My siblings, they don't know where I'm at, you know, how I'm doing. They just hope I'm not strung out like somewhere like dangerous or something, you know, like. But at the time I was so selfish, I didn't even think that they was like thinking about stuff like that. Like I thought they were just going about their life. Yeah. So it's not like I really made an initiative to even like check in and stuff like that. But it was at that moment where I was sleeping at the park. It was like raining, stuff like that. I just found out that the girl I was with was cheating on me with some dude. This dude tried to shoot me because he couldn't knock me out. He's a buff guy, you know. He called me out, and I don't back down in no fade. So I went out there. And I started whipping him with a chain and some more stuff. He got mad because I let him chastise me a couple of times, but I didn't knock out. For whatever reason, you know, by the grace of God, I've never been knocked out. So he was mad about that. Tried to shoot me. I thought my life was over. But I ended up getting away or whatever, and I was at this park by myself. And the reason why, she even got him on me in the first place is because I told her that I was thinking about, like, I wanted to go home. I wanted to be done with this life. Like, and that's the first time I ever said something like that. I was like, I miss my family. Like, I want to go back to my mom's. She got pissed off. And came back with him. So, yeah, I went through that. And then when I was at the park, it was like, it was cold, you know, and I was there by myself just crying my eyes out. And then it had to be God, but like I heard a voice, like something telling me like, just leave. Cause I felt like I was trapped. Like I couldn't do nothing, even though like by this time they're gone at the guy's house or whatever, like minding their business or whatever, but I felt trapped. Like I couldn't go nowhere. So I was just sitting at the park, nervous to even like try to push towards my mom's house. And then I finally got up the courage and walked all the way to my mom's house, which was all the way across town, pulling like 4 baskets with all my stuff connected together like a train, like literally pulling it. Like to my mom's house. And I got there and I think that was the first time I ever, like, my mom was never really a hugging type of person. Like she wasn't affectionate. Like it was just like, oh, what's up? Oh, what's up, cuz? Oh, you
like
back?
That, like you're humble.
You living? All right. Cool. Right.
Yeah.
You know I love you, right? Like,
Good, yeah.
you know, but when my mom seen me when I knocked on the door, the look on her face, I'll never forget that. It was like a look of like she probably thought I was dead or something, you know, like she was praying for the best, but you know, was thinking the worst. And she hugged me, like without any questions or anything like that, you know. And that's when I first like got it in my mind that I actually wanted to make something of my life. Like maybe I do belong with this family, you know. Maybe I am one of them, you know. Because for the longest I didn't feel like it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as much as I remember your mom's story, you know, and hearing about your experience, you know, again, you know, again, I'm hearing, you know, I think you were, you know, I'm no therapist. I know my experience. I know the street part of life too, because that's how I grew up.
Right.
I just think a lot of, you know, my friends or people that I've seen similar stories just needed guidance and we didn't know how, you know, and to make those simple steps of, you know, like you said, I need to leave. And when you like said that, it's like then a new feeling came in to you understand now, you know, now everyone's living there. I'm trying to get back at my mom, but the whole time I'm destroying me, they're moving on.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times people get locked into hurting others. They find out they've only hurt themselves and separated themselves. Yeah. And then we think in our mind, it's, you know, a lot of it too is a personal accountability,
right?
You know, to know that, you know, no, this is actually me, you know, and whether the situation warranted this reaction is not so much whose fault, but it has to be like a responsibility to say, you know, nah, I want this.
Right.
You know, to be open and honest.
You got to stand up for yourself. You have to find that strength. And it's inevitable. You will die without it. Like, but it's a choice. Like, okay, so yeah, you know, you didn't have the best childhood. Yeah, you know, you was drugged through the mud. You gonna lay in it or you gonna get up?
Come on.
And even though like I was kind of like learning while I was going, you know, so of course I stumbled hella times.
Yeah.
Hard. Like flat on my face. Probably got up with some teeth missing or something. Like hard. Like, you know, but I was determined. I'm still determined.
Come on.
Like I didn't see myself making it to 18. On my 18th birthday I actually cried. I thought I would have been shot. I was a female out there in a man's world, acting like a man. And people didn't like that. At all. I don't care who you were. If I ain't at home listening to my mama, what makes you think I'm listening to you?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and people didn't like that either.
Now, let me ask you, did you feel like it was something like you had to prove? To like obviously, because it comes to a certain point too. It's like, you know, don't cross my line. Don't come at me like this.
No,
you know?
yeah, like I guess
don't ask for none. You won't get none. You know.
I guess I had to, like the whole time I was trying to prove to myself that like maybe I wasn't this like scared little girl, you know, or maybe I would, you know, I wasn't no. Mom said she didn't raise no punk, so I mean, if I stop acting like a punk, then you know, maybe you know, I don't know, maybe she might like. Well, I was looking at it like maybe she might love me, like maybe she might, maybe I might be good enough. I never felt good enough. I never felt like, I don't know. I didn't grow up feeling like I mattered. I just grew up feeling like I was just here, just
existing.
You're here. That's your little brother. Watch him. Like I served the purpose to like be a part of this, like one of the workers or something. Like, you know,
yeah.
I didn't really feel like, I didn't really too much feel. I didn't quite feel wanted, like not even by myself, because all I knew was raising kids, and so I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know nothing, and I didn't feel like I was important enough to want to know. So,
Wow.
I mean, it was just I just knew I better not have been no punk. That's it. Like, and maybe if I'm not a punk, then maybe we can come to terms, and then we can be a closer family or something. I didn't feel like I fit in with my brothers and sisters either.
Yeah,
they're different, way different. They think different, talk different. The only thing that's the same is they got them hands for you if you need them. But like, and we're goofy, but like other than that, like they're just like, and I'm hecka proud. Like I've always thought that they were. I wasn't really as smart as them and stuff like that. Because I made some dumb decisions. Like just to this day, I still can't figure out why. And,
well, I think you're explaining again. A lot of people make those. I mean, there are things I look back. Again, I look at it this way. I'm reading a book right now. It's Marcus Aurelius, kind of his thoughts, his quotes. We're all the same. We are all the same. You're good. We wake up knowing that we're flawed, and I think that's really where I'm at in my life, is that not one person is better than the other, but again, how we approach it, how we, how do I want to grow from this instead of staying in it? Because staying in it is one thing, but wanting to grow from it is a different mindset you have to achieve.
Yeah.
Because again, we're so used to going back to what's easy and familiar, what hurts. Right. Sometimes hurt satisfies. Sometimes the pain satisfies the feeling of actually facing it. I'm very guilty of that. And a lot of people listening and watching are, and again, it's not so much like it's your mom's fault or you putting it on her again. No. It's just something you said, I didn't know who I was. All I thought I was to exist is babysit and watch.
Yeah, I thought I was just here to work.
Yeah.
Just,
And you didn't know who you were. You said you had no identity and a lot. And again, this is I'm no psychiatrist, but I've learned that, a lot of people, I think I've learned to experiment to find out who I was, and it got crazier. It got crazier for me, because again, then I'm known as just the crazy guy. I did a lot of stupid stuff with my friends, and we started bum fights. We started stupid stuff like, how can I inflict pain on others so people feel what I feel?
Right.
And it's one of those things where, that's not who you are. God didn't make you to feel that. God didn't make you to be like, I just exist. You exist with a purpose, but we got to find that purpose. Because I think that's one thing I love about, not so much I love that about God's grace. That he's able to let us mess our lives up, because what kind of person? Because we get parents like that all the time that's whipping us. I mean, we push back.
Right.
My parents hate me. I'm gonna run away. But but God, he nullifies that excuse by being a God. But that's what I'm saying. And so when we come to God, that's one thing I love about my relationship with him, is I've come back with him in my filth, and he's like, he receives me all the more. That feeling you got, like, man, my mom never hugged me, but when she hugged me, you knew it was real.
Yeah, and like the whole God thing, like, even though our life was what it was growing up, we grew up in church. We stayed going to church. That was a family thing. In that family, you're gonna go to some church. Mm-hmm. If not all the time, you're gonna get you some Jesus.
Yeah. You get some Jesus.
You're gonna get a little shot glass or whatever. Yeah. You're gonna get some. So I knew of them, I just feel like I'm not attracted. There was never been a bone in my body that's been attracted to a guy. Like, I don't know. I just felt like I was one of them, I guess, in a sense. And, but I knew that was frowned upon in the Bible. So I felt ashamed. I found out I could sing. And the first thing my mom's church did was put me on a stage to be in a youth praise worship team. Now I feel like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
On top of ashamed. And I was so nervous the first time. I literally ran off the stage and threw up. Like, I just couldn't hold it. And everybody's telling me that's my calling because I was supposed to be like my mom. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm supposed to be like my mom? I'm nothing like her. Like, little did I know I was a lot more like her than I thought. But when I don't even know if I can fully explain it yet, but I'm telling you, God, He literally has shielded me and protected me and pulled me out of some deep stuff, you know. Like I said, I should have been gone a long time ago. But these are moments that if there was no God, there would have been no me. And I kept asking myself, why does he keep keeping me here? Like, dude, I'm causing destruction. Just let me go. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, but as my mom like started to mature in her walk with Christ and everything like that, she would, you know, always tell me like, you know, God has a calling on your life and he's not going to let you go. He's not going to give up on you. And she just prays for the day that I see it, you know, for I see my worth. Yeah, it took me, you know, till I went to prison, and that was, 2018, I want to say, 2018. After I had racked up a whole bunch of GTAs, you know, high-speed chases, you know, freaking fights, getting away from the cops by them thinking they're looking for a guy. But they were looking for me. And my dad actually snitched on me. And it made me snitch on myself.
How all of a sudden you calling me out when I was younger? You weren't.
But now you want to get older and get a conscience.
Oh yeah, all of a sudden.
I'm like at the right, so you could at least warn me. Like, right.
Let me walk into it.
I'm feeling different about some things, like something. Like, you know,
you gonna just let me walk into it,
man? But
surprised,
you know, like. I honestly feel like all the times I did get caught in my foolishness, that's when God was saving my life. I feel like that's when he was like snatching me out of it, because the streets ain't never been, they ain't never been no place for nobody, let alone a kid like myself, you know. And I couldn't understand for the life of me what my mom was talking about. He's gonna show me. I'm like, what the heck does he want with me? Like, look at me. What does he want with me? Like, what is he gonna use me for? You know, like, what, he gonna have me in the church? What, praise dancing? I doubt it.
Yeah, like one of those things.
I'm not doing a little tutu turn for nobody.
Don't give me them flags.
Right. Like, I'm like, what is he gonna have me teaching Bible study? I doubt it. Like, you know. And this is like, it's crazy because, and I've never really been a people person, but people are drawn to me. Why? I don't know. Like, people are like, you're so popular. No, I'm not. Like,
I'm trying to
go
stay
away. Like, what are you talking about? I don't even like them. Like,
I don't like you.
Right.
Don't
but
like me.
Man, people are like, well, people just drawing you, yada, yada, yada. And I just can't figure, I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay. Like, what? But it's like Satan fought so hard for me.
Well,
that's what made me realize that, dude, if I'm that much of a factor to where like this Satan dude keep like is on my back like every 2 seconds, I can't have a good moment without it getting split in the middle. Like, you know, then I must be somebody very important. Yeah, as it goes to God. So maybe my mom was right.
Yeah, well, let me say this thing, because I'm listening again. It's coming down to, let me recap, because I know you said a lot. You know, sometimes we go through what we go through and not know, you know, then you hear, you know, oh, you have a calling, you can sing. And again, it's what people put on you, whether their intentions are good or not. Again, it's what we allow honest, because again, when we don't have guidance to fully know what we or who we are and who we are in, we look for something that makes us feel like, okay, this is my identity. My identity is in this. My identity is what I do. My identity is in my relationship. My identity is in my sexuality. My identity is in church. My calling. I'm a singer.
I was so confused.
Yeah, and so when you don't know, and I think like one thing you've kept saying is like, you've paused and you're like, I should not be here. And a lot of times he's like, I don't know enough about God. I don't know enough about church. I don't want to, because Bible says, this is a sin, that's wrong, this is wrong. And it's not so much it's wrong, because one thing that God allows us to be in now is that y'all make your decision. Because if I was a judgmental God like everyone thinks I am, speaking, for him, why would we go to him? Why would we go look for that grace and that mercy? Why? That's because that's the God I look for, because we've experienced a lot of things in our life, in our marriage, in ministry, in church. We've been devastated by pastors, churches, leaders, friends, people that we thought were close friends. And we thought that was our identity. When we left, we were stuck with the mess. And like most that listen and watch and are stuck in the mess right now, because they're trying to find out who am I, and the who am I turns into bitterness. The who am I and my identity is I'm gonna do me. No one gonna tell me. No one gonna cross my line. No man gonna hurt me. No, and it gets into this rage of, well, I'm gonna hurt them by hurting myself.
Right.
Because we don't know who we are, and the simple fact is that I think I growing up in church, I was it was self-infliction. I hurt myself. But I was a hypocrite. I was fake. I was going to church, shondoing, doing all my stuff. Doing my robo and all that. But it was one of those things. It's like, but I didn't know who I was because I was told, oh, you got a gift. Your calling's this, and you got it. Well, what do you mean? I want to have fun. And honestly, rightfully so. Go ahead. I'm at the point, I tell my kids, it's like, look, man, you guys have an opportunity to make better decisions than me and your mom ever have in our lives. But don't feel like you got to make them for me.
Right. I'm
going to show you rather than tell you, because like you, me, the streets is like, man, you all talk. I don't believe you.
Right.
You're this saying otherwise. You see it rather than just hear the mess.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, we get wrapped up trying to find our identity and we lose ourselves. And I'll tell you this, I want to speak something to you because, again, this is coming from the experience of what I've experienced with God's grace and his mercy, man. My identity wasn't in my marriage, what I made. My identity's in him. We feel, and we hear the cliche, the God hole, we try to fill the hole. Only person who can fill the hole is God, hallelujah, all that, and the cliche of that, it irritated me, really did, because that's all I heard. But until I had to experience him, I don't know if you know my story, if your mom had mentioned, but I got COVID last year. I got the Delta variant double pneumonia. It killed me.
Jesus.
Took me out. I was resuscitated. Again, my identity was supposed to be in my ministry, my calling, my job, my family, and all that was taken away. I was in a hospital for quite some time by myself, of course. Released, a week and a half later, I was home. Or I was home for about a week and a half. Then after that, I got bacterial double pneumonia. So my lungs were destroyed twice. So here I am dying again. And I don't know who I am. I thought about like man, I never thought about the stuff I've done and I've said and how I acted out. Until God got me alone and he showed me who he was through the nurses, the doctors, my family. And all he reminded me of was how much he loved me. And it wasn't just like the typical, God loves you. Right. For God so loved the world. And it wasn't that. In my mess, in my lowest moment of death, I look dead, I'm gray, my body, I lost all this weight. And God showed up in a way that I never felt him in my life, even though I was in ministry and church my whole life. And I sensed him, experienced him. Because again, when all that got taken away, my identity, my marriage, my sexuality, my money, my job, my business, my show, when all that got taken away, he saw me for me.
Yeah.
And not once he ever said, you're living in sin. You're doing this. And the grace he shows you is what, honestly, I do feel like everyone says we don't deserve it, but it's like I felt like I actually deserved that type of love. When you're looking for that, people look for love in all these places, but the one thing I love about God's love is unconditional love.
Right.
There's no conditions. Love me or else. Be like this or else. God doesn't do that. And so when I experienced him, it's not like I live by rules in the Bible. I just wanted to please him because he showed me that grace.
Yeah.
So I choose to live by his word, not to please him, but to know that, what you've done for me, I didn't deserve. I should be gone. I should be dead. I deserve hell. But you didn't throw it in my face. How many times people throw stuff in your face growing up? Like, you know what you did? You deserve that?
I can't count.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But God,
that he is definitely one that never. And it's like, for the life of me, I just couldn't figure it out. Like, okay, so back to the church thing, when they were trying to get me on the, so I had these pastors who were baiting and aimless, for crying out loud. But they were interesting people, because here I am, just as gay as all get out, definitely not walking in, Christ, like coming in the church smelling like smoke, weed smoke, cigarette smoke, smoking alcohol. Okay, at a young age. And they swore up and down that I was supposed to be right up there, just put me on the stage with a hangover, drunk.
Like she filled with the spirit.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, and it was so uncomfortable for me, but they just swore that's what I needed to do to, that's how I get my life good. That's how I get my walk with Christ. Oh, you just struggle from anger and because I spoke my mind. And I don't tolerate nobody, no BS. Like, don't mess with me, I won't mess with you.
Yeah.
Period. For the most part, I'm a loner. I mind my business.
Yeah.
You should do the same. But they just couldn't stand it. That I just wouldn't open up. But, they told me that that's what I need to do. I need to get on that stage so I can basically sing for my salvation. And I was just like, wait, what? You guys do know I just got out of jail, right?
Yeah.
Fresh out. Probably just walked over here from there.
Yeah.
The church was in Chinatown.
Yeah, really, yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? So that kind of confused me for a minute. And one time I got locked up, and it was definitely for something that I did. I had no business doing, Excuse me. My mom stayed over there on college. And it was getting ready to be Halloween or something like that. But
pull that mic a little bit towards you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I want to get you.
Yeah, it was about to be Halloween, and pretty much I had barely just moved back with my mom, but I was still sneaking out doing
doing
dirt.
Thing. Yeah.
And got caught up for it, and it was sad because I just got reunited again with my family. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, dude, but for the first time in my life, I felt I felt remorse. I was like, dude, I shouldn't have did that. Cause normally I was the one, you got me on camera. I'm talking Flash is there. There's no way in hell that's not you.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there what the? That is not me, man. Everybody got a twin, man. What you mean? I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. Yeah. No, look at that person. Look, I don't even wear those shoes. What do you mean? I never wear those.
You walk with a limp. That's not me.
Right. I don't walk. That person's voice is an octave deeper. That's all I know. That's all I know. That's somebody's brother, dude. So, but it was me. But I just, for whatever reason, I just deny, lie, to the fullest. But that was the one court day I walked in there and I was like, he was like, so I've had the same judge from the time of my 18th birthday, Judge Penner, and he has had it out with me. Like we don't like each other. He don't like he's just like, I just can't wait till you get your life together.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, forget you. Like, what, you guys kidnapped me.
Yeah.
I didn't ask to come here.
I'm doing me. Y'all just decided to get in the way.
Like I was here by you guys drugged me here.
Yeah.
I went in there and I was like, you know what? I was like, to be honest, I don't even want to have a court date or whatever. I just want to ask for my sentencing. And I was like, I was in the wrong. And then I admitted my faults for the first time because, and the night before, we had like this they used to have a little chaplain come and stuff like that. And it was a Christian night. The Christian lady came and, she was like in the middle of her little class or whatever. She just kept looking at me and she's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep staring at you. She's like, but what are you doing here? And I was like, me? Possibly stolen vehicles. I don't know why. Like, she was like, no. She said, go home. You don't belong here. This ain't for you. She said, this right here is not for you. And she looked at me. She was an old black lady. And she was like, go home. This is not for you. And she said, you know what I'm talking about. And that right there just gave me like chills or something. I went back to my cell and I started thinking about my family and stuff, because I was starting to write them letters or whatever. Because I knew I was going to get time because, they caught me with quite a bit of stuff on me. So I knew I was looking at some time. It was probably going to be the longest term I would have done, aside of this last one. But I just started crying and everything, and then my bunkie, for whatever reason, wanted to have Bible study. And was like, oh, I got you this Bible, we got Bible study today. And this one is, because, the King James Version is kind of like difficult for me to understand.
Me
with
too.
the whole thou arts and whatnot. So they got the simpler version and all that good stuff. So I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll read it with you or whatever. We went from reading the Bible to like, she knew some worship songs or whatever. I was like, oh, my mom loves that song. So we were just singing. And before I went to bed, I was just like, I just broke down and I was just crying. And I was like, I know that, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but like, just help me. Like, I just want help. Like, and I'll be more willing to listen to you and, stuff like that. Like, I pretty much, that's when I first actually accepted God into my life. And when I told the truth at the court date, I got released that day. And I was like, nobody told me I was going to get released. He's like, Judge Penn was like, well, okay, well, I can appreciate your, honesty and, we'll see you at sentencing. But he's looking at me like, what's the catch? Like, because I was terrible. I was in there, like, he was all kind of, yeah, poor guy. Yeah. But later that day, they took, like, not even a couple hours after that, they told me to roll my stuff up, saying I was getting released. And that was the first time it was proven to me that, okay, there's a God. He heard what the heck I did. Like, he listens to me. Like, why would he listen to somebody that he doesn't want?
Nah, he wants you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that right there was the first. Then I got out and tried to, like, do the job thing for a minute. Unfortunately, I fell off again, but it's like each time.
When did this happen real quick? When did this all
This
go down?
is, I was in like mid-20s, I want to say, probably early 20s. Okay. Yeah, so, but little did I know that after that, each time I was to fall, I was actually falling closer to God instead of further away. Because like each time it was like, another lesson learned, but I was actually listening. That's something I could not do. I wasn't a good listener. You tell me till you blue in the face. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Promise. Yeah, got you. To 100%. And I'm walking out the door like, this motherfucker. Wasted their time. Like, like, it's stupid shit. But it's, I don't know.
Well, let me say this here. I feel like here's why I feel like it's one of those, when people say, oh, you're a good person. I mean, you're just fun to be, you're You're like, why do you want to be around me? Why do you like me? My sister is exactly like that. But my little sister is one of those ones, man. She'll tell you. She'll tell you. And she'll tell you in front of everybody and not care. And it as much as that growing up, we did that to each other. Even now, again, it's one of those things, people still love her because that's Letty. Everyone's, and she's like 3'2", little Native American, crazy, little Tasmanian devil, but people loved her, and she wondered why, like you wondered why. And here's why I think is because at least with you, there's no denying, like, did she really mean that? Or is she like, no, so you're left with no denying. All right, she hates me. Good. At least I know. She told me to shut the hell up. At least I know. It's not like, do me a favor, just not, like people beat around the bush. It's just you're not like that.
I ain't got time to beat around the bush.
Well, the thing is, and I think when the judge saw that, when he finally realized, yeah, I did it, just give me my sentence.
Yeah.
That's when I think when people just said, but I know for a fact when people just admit.
No, yeah, but then also too, that was the first time I can actually remember me telling the truth about something about my wrongdoings.
Yeah,
instead of trying to cast the shit, like don't look at me, look at them. They're over there doing.
Yeah, and again,
and
I think a lot of our problems will end when we just start saying, yeah, you know what, yeah. And I do believe why I think people love you and like you and want to be around you. Is because of that, because it's an opportunity, it's a mirror saying, I want to be like that. I want to be that honest, but people are afraid to be honest. Again, my wife knows I say this all the time. Scarface, love that movie. He's in that restaurant, faded, but he's like getting in a fight with this girl, and he gets up, he says, oh, look at the bad guy right there. He says, you guys think I'm the bad guy? It's fine. I'll play the bad guy. You're not good. You just know how to hide. But me, I'll be the bad guy. And that's how I live my life. And that's how my sister is. That's how I see you. What do you got to hide? But sometimes we let that mind of like, I have nothing to hide, but like you said, I'll just deflect, lie. That's not me. Right. But the honesty's still there, because again, when it comes to like our own shit, it's hard to face. It really is. Yeah. So again, where we think we're hurting others, we're only hurting ourselves, and I think
10 times over.
Yeah. And I feel like the where you're at right now, I know you're at a point where I feel like you're like, I'm over it. I've been over it.
That's right.
And so I don't know. Let's get to where you're at as far as from, that experience. Where did you start? Where did it just all change? Where you're not doing drugs, you're not doing anything street life, you're not. You're just, I'm about getting my life right now. And where are you at on your path right now? Since because we can go through your past and all that. And,
no, enough of that. Not yeah. but no, so, okay, I, messed up. Then last time I got arrested, he sent me to prison because he was like, I'm just tired of seeing you. Like, and I told you, if I see you again, you're going up there. I don't care what you did. You're going up there. And, he stood true to his word, which as he should have. Actually should thank the guy for it. I went up there. Well, they actually kept me in county for quite some time, but then finally sent me up there. Up there, we have like counselors and stuff like that. And for a minute, I was thinking about transitioning, like getting the, becoming a transgender male. And I don't know. I don't know why I wanted to do it, to be honest. I can't quite remember. But I did some more research on it. I told my mom, and that's the first time I've ever been open with her about anything like that. Like, because I was never really open with them about my sexuality like that, even though they knew. It's just not something we talked about because I knew that it was something that was frowned upon. And I thought that was like, one of the biggest things why, maybe did that. But whatever. I had a counselor. They appointed me a counselor because I wanted to do the transition or whatever. But even after I did my mom was like, well, why don't you just wait and do some more research on it when you get out here, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And so I agreed, and I told them, so I backed out of it. And the lady was like, well, I could still counsel you if you like. And at first I was like kind of anti-counseling, so I was like, man, no, I'm good. She's like, just let me still meet with you once a week. I was like, well, I guess, whatever. I ain't got nothing else to do. So I kept going to her, and she was just like, I don't know, like she was a sweet lady. Like, she was an older lady, you know, reminded me of my grandma kind of. And me and my grandma, we've always had like a cute kind of like relationship. Like, you know, my grandma, she's never to my face or behind my back, as far as I know, judged me. You know, she's always tried to be there for me. Like, she's at court dates and all kinds of stuff. I was wrong as hell, and she was just like, "Well, you still don't deserve to go to jail." Like, you know, the lady was like, I guess she said she seen a light on me, like in my eyes, and she's like, "This isn't it for you." She's like, "This is it for you for this." She said, "But this is, little do you know, a whole new beginning." And she was like, "But you have to let it." She said, "And I get it. You're scared. I've been there." Like, she's telling me this, and she was like, "But you're strong, and you know this. You've accomplished a lot, even if it was in the streets. You've accomplished a lot. You're a woman." And she's like, I want you to see that strength. I want you to, you know, just give it a chance, even if you don't see it yet. Just jump out on it. Have some faith." And I was like, faith, like, but like just believe in it, even though I don't believe in it. Like, all right, like, you know, because I've always been the type that whatever, I'm gonna see it first. Show me what you know what I mean. Yeah, couldn't nobody be like, "Hey, I got $20. If you did, where the money at?" Yep. You know, like, yep. So, but she really, like, she got me thinking, and so I started, like, you know, little by little, just like taking chances, you know, little small chances and everything like that. Because it's just as easy to get high in there as it is on the street. And once I became, I think I was at my 3rd month mark, clean in there. That right there, I mean, the first week actually was shocking, because I used to forget. So I didn't have to think about it. So I don't want to be here. You know, mentally, I got to be here physically, but I don't want to be here mentally. I don't care, you know. And me, when I do something, I go hard or go home. So, yeah. But so I made it that far. She was like, "So how are you feeling?" And I was like, I mean, to be honest, it was a lot easier than I thought. Like, I thought I was gonna go through all these withdrawals, like just aching pains, and then no, nothing. It was like a normal day. The only thing was I was just a little more tired, a little less energy, but pushed through it, and it made everything that I did worth it. I started going to school in there, got a lot of certificates actually, and was proving to myself that maybe I'm not stupid. You know, you can scratch that off the list.
Come on.
My mom told me to like do a pros and cons kind of list, you know, and then a goals list. The goals list was hard because I didn't know for the half of what I wanted to do, you know, or nothing like that. But just the process and the work that counselor did with me, and then my mom. So the first time I got arrested ever, she was there for me, you know, while I was in there and whatnot. But when I got out, she was like, "All right, now you've been locked up once. Get locked up again, you're on your own." Aside of whoever, you know, but don't call me. Like, I couldn't call my mom. I couldn't nothing. I got a ducat to go pick up a tablet. I was like, a tablet? Like, I ain't got no money for no tablet. Who bought me a tablet? My mom bought me a tablet so she can communicate with me. That let me know it was real. You know? Like, she really hasn't given up on me. Like, you know, she really wants to work on it, because I couldn't even call her phone from in there unless it's 3-way. And that means I got to call my dad, have him 3-way my mom, because I'm not putting no money on the phone or nothing. Which, I mean, she shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
And she had way too many kids to be taking care of, to be thinking about putting some money on the phone for me. And she was a single mother. So when she bought me the tablet, and I was like, because when I got the tablet, there's an email on it already. And I'm like, Alonzo Williams, what the? And so I'm like, did you give me? She's like, yeah, you got stamps on there, so you can write. Email me whenever. We'll send you pictures and da. And my mom, like, she sings this song that I really love her singing. I Can't Make You Love Me. If you know that song, yeah, I really love it when she sings that song. She sent me a video singing that song, but this time, as I'm listening to it, it hit me in a different sense. You know, like, she can't make me love her. She would really love for me to. You know, I mean, for crying out loud, I'm her firstborn. If I don't make it, I gotta put myself in her shoes. How would she feel? You know?
Yeah.
And how would I feel? You know, like they say that you can't do stuff for other people and expect to just make it. Oh, I'm doing this for such and such. You know what I mean? And so I thought about it like, whoa, doing it for me or doing it for them is doing it for me. My siblings were my life.
Come on.
It's the only thing I didn't know. You know, and the love I have for my family, my mom, that was my life. So if I can't find me, who I am right now, what's the next best thing? That's what I pushed for. And with me doing that, I found me.
Come on.
Because I found home. And it was like I was at home before I was even at home. So I was talking to my mom a lot more, and she's telling me all kinds of stuff. And my mom, like, she never really was the apologetic type. She just started apologizing for this, that, and that. I was like, what the hell? Like, you know, like, I was like, okay, somebody's playing with me. Is this really my mom?
Yeah. Who are you?
Right. Show yourself.
Yeah. Get thee behind me. Say this ain't my mama.
Right. So like, and that right there was, it broke me, and not in a bad way. Yeah, because I don't cry in front of people and all that other stuff, but I was bawling like a 2-year-old in that cell, and in front of my bunkies and everything. And they let me do it. They were like, "Oh, this must be serious. It's crazy, man. Talk to your mom some more."
You know it's real,
dude. But it was different. It was like everything. Like I started to see my prayers come to like start to play out. Stuff that I prayed for, you know, like I started becoming less angry. I got tired of being angry. Never been tired of being angry. I could hold a grudge. But I started getting tired of it. Like, I was just like, dude, what does it feel like to be happy? Like, I just want to rest. Like, I just want to be cool. Like, you know, I'm getting too old. Like, you know, just, and I started to notice, like, different features in me. Like, I was starting to, I wouldn't say femme out more, but I was starting to step into, like, before, I would beat somebody up for calling me a woman. You address me as sir or sir. I don't care what you're talking about. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, like really pushing the line about that.
Yeah.
But I had to, that was my cover-up identity. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Like, you know, I'm still very much gay. But, I mean, I'm a woman, though. And I have to, that's, once I started accepting that and standing in that, I started standing up to myself little by little. Little by little, I started noticing like the differences in me, things that I do like to do, things that I'm actually really good at that I never even knew. I didn't even know I was a math major.
Wow.
Until I actually did it. Like, and I was just like, I got a lot of certificates and stuff like that while I was in there. And just like different, like, you know, different hobbies and different dreams of mine, you know, especially with music. My music has changed significantly. And I finally found a sound that is my own. And with that, turns out I'm more like my mom than I thought. So that's my that proved to me that I was on the right path. Like, okay, yeah, I'm related to her. That's why she made me, you know, like, you know, and it like, I don't know, that right there, when my mom, I got that tablet and then me and my mom started, you know, when she started apologizing and, you know, like really apologizing though, of stuff that like I never even brought up. I didn't even know she recognized, like I didn't even know she knew or, you know, that it bothered me, you know, and actually my prayers come they before my very eyes, so far away but so close, you know, and yeah.
Wow, I mean, I love hearing that. You know, it only reminds me of how good God's grace is. You know, because again,
because I would definitely not deserve it.
But here's the thing: that's where we get mixed up a lot with, you know, why we hate church, why we don't like God. You know, is because we let other people ruin it for us. But God would never ruin it for us. Again, He still loved you while you were doing what you were doing. You know? And again, like Mose, he had every right to tell you, but he didn't. You know, and I think He let you experience happiness the way you needed to experience it, because you got tired of what put you in the position you're at some point. Then you realize, I'm tired of this.
Right. And God's like, I'm one of those, I have to go through it. Like, you have to let me go through it. Like, no matter how much it hurts, like, you just, because if you don't, it's gonna be playing in the back of my head. So what the heck is really out there? Yeah. Like, you know, I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm like that. Like, I just have to know. And I'm hands-on. Sucks.
Because I gotta go do something, you know. Well, I mean, again, I'm hearing, man. It's self-reflection. It's huge, you know. Again, I'm tired of the cliches, but my goal in 2023, man, is to renew the cliche of it. It's really, once you self-reflect and realize, you know, no one can tell you where you're at or how bad you are, only you.
Right.
And until you finally experience that, you're gonna stay there. Whether you feel like you're right, wrong, or indifferent, it's not my problem. It's not my business. It's not. So I'm a person, even now, with anybody in life, what they believe, stand for, who they are. I just like, can I just be there for you? That's it. I don't want to change you. It's not my goal to tell you where you're wrong or where you should improve. My goal is to be there for you. That's it. And maybe have an input or just a word of encouragement, you know. And I think that's where I believe God got your attention.
Yeah.
Through a simple thing, what your mom did, a gesture.
Right.
When you know, you're like, I don't deserve this.
Right. I was like, why is she spending money on me? This is not okay.
Yeah. And again, and I feel like, again, the story I heard from your mom is that God just turns things around on His timing.
Right.
And at that moment, I believe from what your mom, her story, and just hearing your other half, it was the turning point where Alondra knew she had to change, and where she felt like, you know, my daughter's life went this way. I'm still her mom. I'm going to still show her why I love her and who she is to me. Even though she was very open to, like, there's many mistakes I've done in my life, you know, and that's one thing I loved about your mom. Even now, she was very open about that.
Yeah, she didn't used to be that way.
Well,
couldn't even think about mentioning it.
Well, that's the thing. My mom was the same way, but she died lying to herself. She lived that life and she never turned it around like I hoped or wished she would have, me and my siblings. You know, the abuse, the drugs, you know, the prostitution. I was telling my wife, we were driving home from Merced down 99 Hotel Drive, right there off of Belmont, and me and my brother beat up her pimp. We were trying to buy our mom back. You know, we're 14 years old, 15 years old, and we're beating a grown man up, you know, and those are the things that I wish, you know, she wanted to apologize. She wanted to say, I'm so sorry. She never did, you know, and the turning point for you, I felt like, where God's graciously just let it flow in. It's not like, here, boom, grace, happy. You know, it's not. God let it, you know, at your most vulnerable state. God was like, all right.
Right when I was put into a place where I couldn't run from it.
And you faced, there's no drugs, there's no addiction, your mind's not fogged about running away from certain things.
And it's not like I haven't been in a drug program before, because I have. And I mean, so yeah, of course I was clean up to while I was at the program, but that's because I was forced. So of course, right when I got home from the program, I was like, you know, sayonara, like, on the train. I did my due diligence and didn't even do that because I didn't even get a certificate. I got kicked out.
Yeah, you know, but I love where you're at. I love where it took you. I love how you're very open about it. You know, because again, this is I believe this is helping you because when you self-reflect and you're reminded of like, man, I was pretty messed up. I was like, damn, how am I still here? And but again, it's a reminder. I feel like, when you, because I heard that, this is your calling. This is your, no, man, no one can give you your calling. Only God, but once you know you're in it, it's just like natural. You'll walk in it. Once you find, like you said, your voice and your sound, you're like, I'm like my mom. That's a generational blessing. Right. Your mom is on she set a new path for generations.
I'm trying to tell you, and she did it by herself with the Lord.
Come on. And I feel like that's starting to resonate with you. That's starting to impact you even now.
Very much so. Yeah. Like, you got to understand, this is somebody who, me and my mom are 18 years apart. Same birthday. Okay. And I've watched her and her mom's relationship and could have sworn ours was, can't be too far. Can't be too far, but it's just, that woman is not easily broken. And they tried. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Mm-hmm. I tried. Straight up. Because I thought she was trying to do me in. And God is good. I mean, there's nothing else I can say to that. Like, can't nobody tell me you're not real.
Come on.
He took this lady who didn't know jack and made her into who she is. And I'm blessed. Man. God had my back before I knew it. Here I am thinking that I was born into damnation. Little did I know I was born into my blessing.
Come on.
Because had I have had any other mother, I would have been gone. Mm-hmm. Seriously. Or given up on or something. Bad.
Come on.
And she did it by herself. Even though she begged.
Yeah. Oh.
She begged for help. And for whatever reason, nobody cared. I don't care what you do. Like, you could be a jacked up person, but nobody deserves to just be shunned out. Like, like cast out. Like, what do you mean you got family, but you don't got family? Like, what? Mm-hmm. And they didn't do nothing to deserve that. Mm-hmm. Just for whatever reason, they just said no. But, most people like that, you find them strung out or something, or on corners or something like that. All their kids taken and stuff like that. But she refused and refused and refused. And she fought and she fought. And
See, that's why I feel like her story resonates.
Between her and the Lord, they changed my life.
Come on.
And they changed my outlook on life, and they showed me that love is real, and I could actually get that too. It's not just a fairy tale, or it's not something that only the president receives or something like that. It's not a presidential package. Like, what you mean they got that in the hood?
I can get that. It's available right now.
It's not bootleg. It's... Yeah, like it's every day now that I wake up. Right now I'm going to school, Fresno City College, trying to find a job. Like I said, that's a little rocky, but I'm dealing with it though. At least I'm off probation and parole for the first time in my life since I was 18. And I actually got off that early in 6 months. I was supposed to be on it for 3 years, but due to good behavior and proof of certificates and et cetera, I got certified in forklifts and stuff like that. So my probation officer was like, dude, I'm just glad, because at first she was like, look, I heard about you and I ain't gonna put up with it. I was like, all right.
She went in swinging.
Right. She said, nah, I run this. Like, but I showed her, reassured her that, I'm laying down my. I'm going to go ahead and lay down my street stripes. You know,
Come on.
Retire.
Retire from that life.
For real.
There's no pension though, huh? There's no retirement plan.
No benefits, nothing, no dental, nothing. I ain't even got glasses. Is that crazy? Like,
wow.
Yeah, but and every day I wake up and I just look at my mom now, like, I feel like I'm, like, she's just like, I don't know, like, it's crazy. Like, I'm still shocked. Mm-hmm. And I've been out for like, what, 2-3 years, give or take? No, probably almost 3 years. But it's still shocking. Like, I seen her today when she came out the house. I was like, dang, that lady. Like,
that's my mama.
Look at her.
Come here.
I'm out every day. She going to work. She's sometimes she'll stop and she's like, "Good morning, you guys." Like, to me and my girlfriend, and I'm like, "Good morning, mom." But I'm all starstruck, and then my girlfriend's looking at me like, "What's wrong with this nigga?" And I just look at mom. My mom.
That's my mom.
Man, you see that outfit she got? She wearing that outfit. Yeah,
like, she is Joe ripped out.
Right. Like, but it's just, I don't know. I'm blessed.
That's good.
I mean, every day it's a fight, though. You know.
Yeah, no doubt.
It don't get no easier.
It's not supposed to. I don't think.
No, you're supposed to get stronger.
Yeah, and every day, again, I think once you find yourself or you feel like you've arrived, you stop growing. You know, you start denying certain parts. You start deflecting. You start doing all that
because you know, I don't know everything, and knowledge is definitely power.
Come on,
because I was a dumb mother. But, you know, ever since I started, you know, opening up to learning, like, just, I don't know everything. Mm-hmm. Learn to be quiet, Tericka. Yeah. Like, just, like,
the basic things.
Stop talking. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, like, it's just, yeah. You know, I learned how to, they're submissive. Yeah, and that took a lot, because
it's a denying of yourself.
I took that moment and raised no punks thing up to the next level. I do think
she's like, I didn't mean it like that.
She's like, hold on, God, like, you know, soften a bit. Like, I didn't mean like just bone thugs. Hey, man, Compton and Compton to Fresno,
straight out of Fresno,
right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hear your passion in that, you know, and I genuinely, I do feel and see the love for your mom, you know, because again, what better example to follow, you know, and what better example to have, you know, what better, you know. It's not because she's making you like be like me. No, she's showing you. Right. She's living
because
it.
I mean, and then what better thing for you? Like, when I was little, she was my example for my hardness. Like, she taught me how not to love. Anybody, I love you. Yeah, right. Like, what you want? What you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I genuinely want to love you. No, you don't.
Back the hell up. Whatever. Back up. Like, you know, but the same person that, you know, got me into that whole mode when we were lost is the same person who drugged me out of that. She came back for me. And God knew that it had to be somebody that of that importance. You know, to get me, he had to send the big guns, because let me tell you, he couldn't just send no Bone Kui from the second row in the service.
Like, you don't even know.
Ain't no way. Yeah. What altar call? You over there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think I like hearing that, because again, I'm a type of person, I never want to glean or follow somebody or learn from somebody who don't know nothing.
Right.
Who ain't been through it.
Or somebody I'm just not, if I don't know you.
Yeah.
Or if I get around you and I don't get that feeling like, oh, it feels like family.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like, you know, like,
but that's a real feeling.
No, for real.
That's real. And I think what took, you know, again, whether we feel like, oh, God ordained all that bad stuff to happen, I don't know. I can't speak for him, but what I believe is, again, man, if everything's supposed to be perfect in life, man, how do we know where do we grow from? You know, it's not supposed
there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's no up, there's no down, there's nothing. You're stuck.
Yeah, and you are. And I don't like being stuck, even though I
can't stand it.
Yeah, I can't stand it either. You know, so I'm getting. It took someone with the similar experience, you know, to reach you because you know there's no BS, there's no middle. There's just Like I said, at least when people talk to you, they know.
They definitely do because I make it a point.
Yeah, and again, when you as a person who recognize that that's who you are. Again, I've always said, we've heard it all the time. Real recognize real. Right. You don't have to say you're real. You don't have to speak or prove.
Them the ones you got to watch out for.
Those are the ones.
Like, man, I'm like, who you trying to convince, bro?
Yeah.
Watch him.
Yeah, that's real. And I think what helped you, like again, the story with your mom when I had her on the pod the first time, I just knew it was real.
I was surprised she even brought me up, to be honest. But I mean, like, because that's just because I don't really I don't know.
Well, it's a testimony under her because she was very adamant on your story, and I'm like, man, we gotta get your daughter on too. Is there something she would do? She was like,
I said, Mom, who they talking about, Jade? Yeah. She said, no, you. I said, what? They wanna go where?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I see the correlation. I see the path that you guys are on. I see the growth. And I see the blessing. Because I can tell truly you're blessed.
I am. Yeah. I don't know. I just thank God every day. Like it's crazy because there's people that I've been friends with like for a long time in my childhood. See me today, they don't recognize me. So they look like about the fourth time.
Yeah.
They're like, but okay, excuse me. I don't mean to pry, but I'm like, yeah, fool. I've been sitting here waiting.
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm sitting here staring at you.
Waiting for it to click.
And they're like, dude, you look good. Like, dude, how bad was I looking before? Like, don't answer that. Shoot, what's that?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But I mean, your story's amazing. I think right now, then I'm thinking, where are you at on your if we're getting into like future, where do you see yourself? What are you hoping for? Where do you feel like you need to grow more? Where do you feel like? Because I know we can go on forever.
I definitely need to still grow in the confidence area. I need to grow in the being like opening up to new things area. I can't allow myself to sit back into getting comfortable.
Well, this is a good start jumping on this pod.
It is. My heart's still racing, but I mean, it feels good though.
Yeah.
This is the first time I ever told all my business. So, I'm trying to keep stuff in.
Yeah. Make this on a Patreon. Let people pay for this.
Right. Like 99 cents. I'm saying.
I get a cut.
Maybe 2%. Maybe we'll talk 2%. We'll talk percent.
We'll talk business already.
No, it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to learn to be open. Like, I guess I'm trying to learn to just... Shoot, I mean, how do you say it? To be insane is to do the same thing but expect different results.
Yeah. Definition of sanity is doing the same thing and expecting.
And I'm just trying to, do something different. I'm trying to, make a complete turnaround. It's that time. And I want to grow. Right now I'm going to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor because I did notice, in my fair share of counselors that not a lot of them even have experience with drugs. So that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
because what are you doing for me?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter what I tell you. You know, right. Yeah. You don't even know. Like, what that book know? That book ain't never hit no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it is, people don't listen to people like that. So
that's real.
I figure, paying it forward, they'll listen to, people seem to listen to me, whether I make them or not.
You gonna listen?
I'll be like, what you say? Oh, okay. You said we gonna right. Now come on. Acting crazy.
Come on, somebody.
But it's just,
I feel like that suits you.
Yeah.
It would genuinely help out because again, the people that are lost and hurt and addicted and again, they just know. Right. And when you know that, when you give them that feeling that they know they can come from it, that's hope. Because they're like, well, and you can guarantee look at somebody on like, and when you get to that, I'm believing it. I know you will be in that position soon where you're inspiring, you're pouring into somebody and they're looking at you like, I can do it. But you can see like now, well, you're lying right now and then be like, yeah, you're right. Because again, it's recognizing the real. And then it's like you guys have that that commonality, you know, the same experience.
Right now I'm just pushing towards softening. Like I want to soften, and I want to, like I said, grow. Like, you know, you can't grow no plant out of no rock.
Yeah.
It just ain't happening.
Yeah.
You know, or through concrete or something. It just ain't happening. So, I mean, I've been hard on my life. So, go ahead and
have you forgiven yourself? Feel like you've got to a point where
I'm forgiving myself slowly but surely. It's hard. It's hard because I just can't make sense of it. You know, like I can't explain to myself as to why. And that's what's like really beating me up, because it's like, dude, these are, come on out, like, to them, you know? And yeah, but my mom tells me all the time, she's like, I forgave you, so what's the problem?
Yeah.
You know, and the last time she said it to me, it really like, it stuck. And I mean, I'm doing a lot better today than I was yesterday. And, but I know it's gonna take everything I have, and I'm willing to give that. I'm willing to step up for the challenge, like, because I refuse to have came this far. I'm 31. Don't tell nobody. Okay, I'm trying yeah, keep that in.
G14 classified.
Cut that part out. No, I'm 31 years old. I'm a 31-year-old woman, and for somebody that didn't think that they would live to see 18, I've came way too far. And I've survived way too much and conquered over way too much. Our family, like, my mom did not fight this hard for a legacy that I'm finna just be rolling on a flat tire. Not me.
Come on.
You know, like, I gotta whip it into shape. I gotta get it, you know, dust it off. I didn't have to, you know, woe was me's. I didn't have to, woe was them's. I didn't have to, you know.
Yeah. And
now it's just, it's it.
Man, that's real talk. That to me speaks volumes. I 100% have faith and believe that you are and will be all the more successful.
Thank you.
You know, it starts somewhere, and, you know, like you said, you don't put your business out there. And for you to do this is a step to say, you know what? Again, it's okay to be where you're at as long as you know you can go from it. I'm a type of person, I keep saying this, you know, a lot of people are in denial on where they're at and how they're acting, how they're living.
Oh, trust me, it's okay to struggle.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I shot this podcast. It's funny, man. And I think I want to reshoot it, but just kind of, I'm getting more like information and, you know, topics, but it's called Be Your Own Hoe. You know? So I'm a type of person.
You a cold piece of work.
I'm a type of person. If you're gonna be it.
Right.
Don't lie to yourself. If you want to be a hoe, be a hoe. This stems from somebody that we know that was like lying, selling wolf tickets. That, you know, I'm a good Christian woman. Ooh. You a hoe. Ooh. You a hoe. Don't lie about it, and don't make everyone else the bad guy. Be a hoe. Just be it. I'm not gonna judge you. If you want to be bitter, if you want to be angry, if you want to be all that, stay in it. However long you want, to see if you want to stay there or actually grow from, because you will recognize. Like you said, I'm tired of being angry. Tired of it. Then you know not to go back to what hurt you, what put you down, what tore you down. Because again, you're not lying to yourself that you have a problem. You actually recognize it. And then you know to stay from it. Not someone told you, not somebody preached at you, not somebody telling you this is a sin, this is wrong. No, you stay in it.
And I said, and the reason why I said I was tired of being angry instead of like I'm tired of being a drug addict is because anger is that's where it all stemmed from. I had anger first. That anger festered and transformed into drug use, and it went on.
Yeah.
But it all started with me being angry. I was just angry.
And that cool is cool. What's so cool about it too is that, again, God let you stay in it. And again, it's one of those things. He can make you, but he that's not who he is. He's a gentleman.
And I appreciate him for that, to be honest, because it needed to be my choice.
The best thing.
If it was, because if I'm forced to do something, you try to force. Look at my face.
Expect kickback. Look at my face.
Try to force me to do something. Your name ain't Alondra Williams. I don't know where you're gonna get. I don't know what you expect. back.
Yeah.
Then we're just going to be sitting here looking at each other.
Why are you surprised?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. And I think that's where, again, that I really want to shoot that, man, that be your own hoe, because it speaks a lot.
Piece of work. It
makes sense.
It does.
It makes sense. And I've learned to stay in things to let me know if I love the taste of it or not.
Right.
And again, it's self-reflection. And then you realize, okay, that didn't taste good.
Scary.
It's scary, And I think that's how you grow. And that's how
it's heck easy to look at somebody else and just be like, dang, you jacked. But when you look at yourself,
you're like, oh, I'm jacked up.
All of a sudden, you're a 2-year-old. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. But again, that's how it starts. Everybody mind your business.
Right. That's what I've been saying. Like where you was at yesterday? Man. Who was I telling that to? It was somebody.
I hope they watching.
A neighbor or something. I'll make sure they do.
Come on, like, Karen. Hey, look at this. I mean, I love your story. I mean, just like Alondra, because when your mom came on the pod, that was the first time meeting her in person. We talked over Zooms, because we're still working on my foundation. When I got sick, it all just slowed down, man. And so your mom is just the queen on helping us. So, and she, my buddy Jonathan told us about her. I was like, man, I need to get her on my podcast because her story just cannot just sit there, and we've had a lot of good feedback, and to hear her story and not hear yours and to see where you're at, I do believe, man, you're en route,
right,
on path right now. So continue where you're at. You're just know, and I know you know this, but I want to speak this and saying that you're gonna trip up, you're gonna veer, you'll get that flat tire, but you know what, I do believe
I got fixed a flat.
Yeah, your experience taught you to be where you're at now, to face it.
Right. Head on though. Not just laying there.
Yep.
Not just sitting there. It taught me to face it and fight. Get back on the front line. Formation. Yep.
Like, why are you surprised you get hit in the mouth?
Because
it's like
my thing is I was going so hard for the streets, and the streets wasn't giving me nothing.
Come on.
So why not do it for something? For life. Why not do it for living?
For you. Because you'll get something out of it.
I mean, even if I don't, I'm doing it for me. I'm getting me out of it. That's right. What more you want?
Man.
How you want somebody else, but you don't want yourself?
Man, y'all don't even know what you're hearing. That's real. Again, that's the only, that right there, if that's all you said.
I mean, it's just, and it took me a long time to get there, but every day I love me a little bit more of me.
Let's go.
And that was never something to come out of my mouth. But I can't give something that I ain't giving myself. So how I'm gonna let my siblings on love me? I'm hating on their sister. You know what I mean? I'm the op.
Man, y'all don't even know. Do you know what you just said right now? I mean, you black out. You're like, well, what did I say?
Where am I? No,
that's real.
But no, yeah, it's just real.
That speaks. Again, you have a lot to offer. You have the experience. Though it was tough, but I felt like it's meant for this. It's meant for this time.
Right.
Because again, we're in a time where a lot of people just don't know how to love themselves. We're
in a time I don't even recognize.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like you see on social media, love you, be you, do. But no, you're not seeing this. You're not seeing somebody who's put themselves through it, come through it to speak about it. And I think you speaking about it and living it now is what speaks volumes. Because again, where I think your gifts and talents you haven't really hit yet. You haven't hit the. I'm
in the beginning stages. I'm a starter.
That's dope.
I'm just getting here.
Yeah.
But it is to come.
Receive
and I ain't gonna stop till I get it.
Let's go. Well, let's say this. Baby, what you think? We'll end this out. Last words, last thought. What do you think about all this? Get camera 6 on you, girl. Don't be cheating.
Oh man.
Zoom out.
No, one thing you had said, it was just real quick, you said like why? You went through so much stuff. Why? And I feel like in our marriage and our relationship, we've experienced a lot of why do we do that? Why did we experience that? It hurt, but we went through it. We overcame it. But then we start meeting people and then they start having the same story and we're able to tell them, well, this is what happened to us. This is how we got out of it. And I really think that's why you experience stuff. That's why you put yourself in situations, because there's somebody that's going through that right now, or they're going to be going through that. And then you're going to be right in that path. So yes, there was a lot of destruction, a lot of chaos growing up, but you're going to be able to touch someone's life so they can like stop it at that moment. So they don't have to go through that whole process.
Right.
And I feel like you do have a lot to offer, because it was a lot of self-infliction, but you know, you've grown and you're still here. And then now it's the change.
Right.
We're going to see that. And I'm so glad hearing about your story.
Thank you.
Man, white girl can pull reach.
And I'm all, whoa, I almost passed out.
Shondo.
I'm all, where the deacons at? Who's going to catch me?
We gonna take an offering.
I'm just going to fall out.
You know, get my Shondo on. But that's real talk. I mean, someone listening, watching, what is your last words, last thoughts? What do you know, this overall conversation today?
Just, you got to learn to stay true to yourself. You got to learn love is real. And you got to learn that ain't nobody going to fight for, like, people are going to fight for you. Don't get me wrong. People are going to fight for you. But can't nobody win for you.
Come on.
And if you don't want to win for you, what you doing? You can't possibly just be sitting there in the woe was me's. You need to get on up. And just, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people say that I'm rude. Like they say you're insensitive. Yeah, okay. You're too sensitive. Like, we ain't got time for that. You see this world. This world ain't getting any better.
Nope.
Matter of fact, it's getting terrible. But I mean, it's the world we live in, and only the strong survive, and they meant that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I would just tell them it's possible. It's very for me. Like to be even here. If I'm here, it's possible.
Come on.
For real. Cause but just don't give up. Don't quit. Like, and it's worth it. It's worth it. I've never been so healthy. Like size or nothing. Like I ain't never even smiled so much. For real. I used to walk around with that one. So
Test me.
yeah, that was like, you know, it's just, but it feels good to be free.
Come on.
It feels good to be freeing. Like, you know, you freeing yourself. Like, you know, just step into the shackles is heavy. Like, and I never felt so light. Even though I'm big as hell. But I mean, all fluff weight. No.
I mean, that again, girl, you are on track. And I'll just tell you are on track. And what you're speaking now, people need to hear this. And that's why I was so adamant. My wife, I was like, we need to get a hold of Alondra. We need to bring the daughter on. We need to bring on Jay.
Right,
be like,
when she asked me, I was like, she's like, just take a couple of days to think about it. I walked out of the room. I said, I told my girlfriend, I said, girl, I ain't going up there. She said, an interview. I ain't doing that. People gonna know my business.
Yeah.
She's like, well, what's so wrong with that? I was like, girl, a lot. A lot of stuff you don't even know.
No one's supposed to know.
That's probably why she got the notepad.
I knew it. That makes sense. Why she's acting like this, you know, taking notes. Well, I mean, again, I would say my last words and thoughts is, again, you are on track. And I believe the timing for this, like you said, the world is terrible right now. And I believe it's only going to get worse. We haven't even seen a fraction of how bad it's going to get, especially, you know, how the Bible says. Right. But I think those tough times coming, man, are meant for tough people.
Right.
You know, come out.
Strong to survive, I'm telling you.
Yeah. And I think the people like you, me, you know, people that's been through it, your mom.
Right. We're built for this.
Yeah, and again, we're not going to be surprised that something surprising, crazy was like, whoa.
Right, we're going to be like, all right, everybody sit down with shelter. Remember how we packed?
Yep, that's real.
No, for real.
You know, and I believe what your testimony and your story is enlightening. It's encouraging. It's what it's supposed to be is to build people, and you're on that path to build And no greater way to get it out the first time than this, because I do believe once this releases or has released, it's going to impact, because what I guarantee the audience that I have they look and wait for this type of conversation, because the topics I talk about is about me. And every time I ran into somebody or they've jumped on the show, they're like, dude, I love what you say because no one's talking like that. Everyone's saying the same old.
They sugarcoat stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not even telling the real.
Yeah. And so this conversation resonates with people like me and you. Why? Because we're no better just because we're on this. We're just like you.
Right. No, like when I say I got to the door, outside the door, and still felt comfortable enough like I've been here before, it was just a feeling. Like all my nerves went away. I was like, we could have been coming to my auntie's house or something. Like, uncle's house or something. Like,
You're home.
Right.
You're home,
hey, open the door. Y'all know what it is.
Man, I've been out here for like 5 minutes.
Dude, my kneecaps is weary now.
I need to sit. Y'all got some food on that grill, man? Come on.
I don't smell nothing cooking.
Let's go. I mean, I love it. I mean, I like the same vibe I get from your mom, and it's just because it's you now. I just I'm connected with you now because I love what you bring to the table. The vibe right when you walked in. I'm like, that's family. I kid you not, and I'm like, this is gonna be just a conversation. You know. And
also, too, thank you, because this is honestly the first time ever me telling my actual story, like my whole story, like from top to bottom, and I can't imagine a better way to do it. This is cool.
Man, we're with you. I got you. Whatever you guys need. I know Alondra's talking about, where's go here, Laura. Alondra, I know you out there watching right now. 6, go to 6. I know you're out. Alondra, you said we're going to get some food. We're going to grill it up. She promised, but she never, I know life gets busy, but I'm hungry. We need to plan a day.
She know I'm hungry. So I was already thinking about McDonald's. Let's
get it. But I just wanted to tell you again, thank you for jumping on the pod.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this to me is going to be one of the best pod. Is this? Because we obviously we pre-record this. So I think this is the first podcast of the year. Yeah. This is going to be the first Friday of the, so what a way to kick off a new year. Happy New Year, everybody, by the way. Even though we recorded this in December, but I just want to tell you guys that this year is going to be a great year. Despite what happens, just keep moving forward. Just still here for a reason. No greater story to start the new year off with. Jay, this to me resonates, and this is going to be a long-lasting echo for the rest of this year, and it's gonna resonate to everybody listening and watching. You're still here for a reason, so I just want to tell you again, thank you for jumping on the pod. Thank you for telling your story. It's a blessing to know that, man.
Thank you for doing this. To you and your family. Like, you guys have to see this. The whole family, like even the daughter sitting right here, like 10-2. Like, it's crazy. But we need people like y'all, like in our community. At that, they live up the street. That's tight. It's awesome. That's kind of like what my mom's trying to do with our family, but you guys are a little ahead of us.
Hey, we get there on the pace, so we're with you guys. I love you guys. You guys tune in to our other podcast that we've shot. There's a damn gnat in here this whole time.
I'm about to I'm trying not to hit the mic. I'm like
smacking myself too. I was like, all of a sudden there's a gnat. You guys gonna have gnats in your life. 2023 is gonna have these gnats that you want to smack up, but just give it to God. Don't smack them. I'm gonna use the gnat for the glory of Jesus. Hallelujah. Channeling my inner TD Jakes. But it's not there yet. But I love you guys. Stay tuned, man. Season 3 is starting off. It has started off with a bang. Again, we're here for you guys. We want to tell stories that you genuinely relate to, and or of someone that can glean and grow from this. So you guys are still here for a reason. Know that I love you. God loves you. You love you. You don't know it. And guess what? It's all good. I love you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.